Good afternoon. Welcome to Nationwide Today on the NTA. I am Ogoni Ona. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has remanded the Attorney General of the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, and two others at the Kuje Correctional Facility pending the hearing of their bail application. Malami, his wife, and son were arraigned on a 16-count charge by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The offences border on allegations of money laundering to the tune of more than 1 billion naira and frantic efforts to conceal the alleged illicit origins of the money and assets in Abuja, Kano, and Kebbi. They pleaded not guilty to all the counts. Counsel to Malami, Joseph Daudu, SAN, urged the court to grant his clients bail before the trial. But prosecution counsel Ekele Iheanacho, SAN, informed the court that he needs time to respond to the written bail application and that the alleged offences violated the Money Laundering Prohibition and Prevention Act. Justice Emeka Mwite adjourned the matter to Friday, 2nd of January 2026 to hear the bail application. The Kebbi State Police Command has clarified the cause of the explosion at the General Hospital, Bagudo, which occurred on 30th December 2025. The command confirmed that there was no bomb or helicopter involvement and no casualty was recorded. Investigations conducted by the Kebbi State Police in collaboration with EOD, CBRN experts and the Commissioner of Police Tactical Team revealed that the explosion was caused by an inferno from overheated air conditioning and refrigerator gas cylinders. The Police Public Relations Officer, SP Bashir Usman Anisma, urged the public and media to disregard unverified reports and rely solely on official updates from the police. The Kebbi State Police Command assures residents that all necessary measures have been taken to prevent any reoccurrence and the situation remains fully under control. All right, still there, let's join our correspondent Usman Abdullahi Shehu, who is standing by live at the General Hospital, Bagudo, for an update. Hello, Usman. I believe you can hear me. So what's the current situation as we speak? All right, apologies. We may reconnect with Usman when we get clearer signal. All right, let's now move on. Ogun State Police Command has reaffirmed that the auto crash involving World Heavyweight Boxing champion Anthony Joshua and others along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway on Monday, December 25th, 29, 2025 was allegedly caused by a tire burst. We are going to be bringing you the details in the course of the bulletin. Now, non-adherence to the use of zebra crossings remains one of the major causes of avoidable accidents on highways. With increased movement on major roads during this festive period, our next report examines the importance of zebra crossings in ensuring pedestrian safety.
Zebra crossing is one of the simplest and most recognizable road signs in the world. Those bold white stripes meant to protect pedestrians. Here in Nigeria, the Federal Road Safety Corps and several humanitarian groups mark these crossings to create safe passage for people on foot.
The drivers don't obey that road sign. It's either they don't know, or they deliberately refuse to obey the rule, or they want to, to be forced or coerced to do it.
But with the daily rush to earn a living and the ever-increasing number of vehicles on our roads, the question remains, do motorists still respect the zebra crossing?
They don't obey this zebra crossing. You are the one that used to shout out all this motto.
These drivers, they don't observe the zebra crossing, so the best thing for you to do is to cross. If not, you will get hit.
It's a place of the officers concerned to create better awareness.
From general observation, many drivers barely obey basic traffic rules, let alone yield at a zebra crossing. Road safety officers say the message is simple: the life you save may be your own.
And now the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has expressed sorrow over the tragic death of 7 journalists who were confirmed killed in a lone road crash in the Gombe South area of Gombe State on Monday. The incident occurred on Monday evening as the journalists were returning from a wedding ceremony in the Gombe South senatorial district. They were said to have traveled to be part of the wedding ceremony of a Nigerian Television Authority NTA colleague. In a statement, the Special Assistant Media to the Minister, Rabiu Ibrahim, said the minister described the tragedy as a loss to the media community and the nation, noting that the journalists were committed voices who informed the public with courage, integrity and professionalism. The minister extends his condolences to the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, the Gombe State Council, and especially the families, friends and colleagues of the deceased. He prayed God to grant them the strength to bear the painful loss. Minister Idris assures all that the federal government stands with the bereaved families and the media community during this moment of grief. And similarly, the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, has condoled with the families of staff who lost their lives in a fatal auto accident along the Gombe-Boliri Road and the entire NTA. In a statement, the DG described the incidents as a big loss to the authority, saying the staff were dedicated professionals whose commitment and service will be sorely missed. The DG said their passing under such painful circumstances is a great loss, not only to their immediate families and loved ones, but also to the NTA family as a whole. He prays God grants the departed eternal rest and comforts their loved ones, and for speedy recovery to those who sustained varying degrees of injuries. And Gombe State Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya has expressed deep sorrow over the death of journalists and media workers from NTA Gombe and related agencies in a fatal road accident. In a statement by the Director General, Press Affairs, Ismaila Uba Misili, the governor described incidents as a heart-rending tragedy that has plunged the state into mourning. He said the deceased were dedicated public servants whose contributions to the media and public service would be deeply missed. Governor Yahaya extends condolences to the families, the media community, and prays for the eternal rest of the departed and speedy recovery for the injured, assuring them of government support. And in the same instance, the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BORN, is saddened over the road accident that claimed lives of journalists in Gombe State. In a condolence message, the Executive Secretary of BORN, Yemisi Bangbushe, commiserates with the management and staff of NTA and families of the deceased, praying for strength during this difficult time. Similarly, the International Society of Media in Public Health expresses deep condolences to the management and staff of the Nigerian Television Authority and families of NTA personnel who died in a tragic road accident. The organization's director, Moji Makonjola, describes the incidents as a devastating loss of committed professionals whose impact is felt across the Nigerian media community. She notes that their contributions to the broadcasting and public service will be deeply missed. And now a lot of movements take place during the Yuletide. As such, road accidents often occur during this season. The country is already recording series of accidents on major roads, evoking calls for safety measures. To reduce the risk of accidents, the FRSC advises Nigerians to always obey traffic rules and regulations to stay safe and alive. Our correspondent Maria Bisong Ofure Imomo spoke with some residents of the Federal Capital Territory on precautionary measures to stay safe on the roads this Yuletide.
Though not a new thing, not a new issue in Nigeria during festive period, but some of those causes are due to sometimes overspeeding. Sometimes those drivers don't have some necessary document for driving and dodge try to maybe maneuver the enforcement agency on the road.
There's something you call defensive driving. A lot of Nigerians don't know about it. The road safety is their duty to train drivers on the road. At times, you just stop them. Not most when you stop them, you ask for particulars. At times, you stop them. Ask them some basic questions that you need to teach them to know.
They should introduce that as a sort of a road test before issuing somebody a license. You understand? They should create a situation whereby somebody has to undergo driving training before you allow him to drive. Secondly, they should concentrate on road maintenance.
May they just be cautious and be patient, whatever they are doing.
All right, let's go back to our earlier reports from Kebbi State, where the police was clarifying the Bagudo hospital explosion while also debunking bomb and helicopter claims. All right, let's join our correspondent, Usman Abdullahi Shehu. I believe is ready now to give us a live update from the General Hospital in Bagudo.
Yes, as you mentioned, we are now and behind me the incident happened. As the police certify that it was a fire incident rather than the earlier report that with me here is one of
Activity is not friendly this afternoon. We are sorry, Usman. All right, let's get more reports now from our Lagos Network Center. And Adiola Komiakere is our guide. All right, in a renewed effort to reposition Quranic education and correct long-standing misconceptions about Almajiri schooling, the Jigawa state government has convened a high-level meeting between government officials and Sangaya stakeholders. The aim is to strengthen and sustain the Sangaya education system across the state. Muhammad Musa Askira reports.
Governor Umar Namadi made this disclosure in Tauro local government area of the state while inaugurating a number of developmental and empowerment projects executed by his administration. The governor explained that the feat was achieved through the Agency for Youth Empowerment and Employment established to provide sustainable livelihoods for young people across the state. Governor Namadi further assured the people of Taura that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is already taking steps to fulfill his promise to Nigerians, under which the federal government will empower 1,000 small-scale businessmen and women in each of the 8,809 political wards nationwide.
Mr. President, through the World Development Project, is going to empower 287 people in Jigawa State. That means in each political ward, 1,000 people will be empowered to improve their different trades and investment. And this will go a long way in improving the life and livelihood of our people.
Meanwhile, the governor also inspected the ongoing construction of the teaching hospital for the newly acquired University of Medical and Applied Health Sciences, as well as the renovation of the General Hospital Ringim. Governor Namadi stressed that the need for strict adherence to quality standards must be observed. The inspection tour reaffirms the Jigawa State government's commitments to human capital development, economic empowerment and quality healthcare delivery. In Tuti, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Mohammed Musa Skirade reporting on the empowerment of the people of Jigawa State by the state government. All right, I understand Adiola is ready now for more reports from our Lagos Network Center. Adiola, it's over to you.
Compliments of the season to you. 6 days after fire engulfed the great Nigerian insurance building on Martin Street, Marina, Lagos, families of those believed to have been inside the building say they are still searching for answers. Conflicting figures from emergency responders have deepened the uncertainty, leaving relatives anxious and demanding clarity over the true number of casualties. Our Yusuf Jibo reports.
The loss of a loved one is a pain only those affected can truly understand. And that pain is now being felt by families linked to the fire incident at the Great Nigeria Insurance Building on Marina. 6 days after the inferno, relatives of those believed to have been inside the building say they are still searching for information and awaiting answers as uncertainty continues to surround the actual number of casualties. 3 days ago, the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, announced that 3 bodies had been recovered, while 8 others sustained varying degrees of injuries. That figure is, however, being challenged by associates and family members of those they claim are still missing. Ugochukwu and Basil, for example, insist that many, including their loved ones, are still unaccounted for.
Immediately, I had a blast, knowing fully well that my siblings were still inside. Before I could rush in, there was something as if there was something that blocked my entrance from entering in. So while I was down, I was screaming their name, but they couldn't hear me. So as I'm speaking to you people right now, the tall building that is still standing, there are people, my siblings, Collins, Stephen, and Casimir Omatu are all stuck in the building.
The children of my sisters that are involved, even it's luckily that Ugochukwu, who could have been among them, come out with my own particular son, Chimezie. 2 of them are out. So they carried their goods out and they want to come back before they hear the sound. Boom! Fire covers everywhere. So they couldn't get themselves. Fortunately, they are out. So, and the other one that remained inside, there's no way to escape.
There are many more relatives like Ugo and Basil. According to them, it has been a horrific couple of days. However, they remain determined to stay here until the fate of their loved ones is fully ascertained. They are calling on relevant authorities to do whatever they can and however they can do it to bring out their loved ones either dead or alive. Efforts to obtain reactions from LASEMA and other first responders on this have been unsuccessful at the time of filing this report. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jubu, NT News.
The year 2025 in Nigeria was defined by several key decisions in policies such as novel tax law, reviewed national school curriculum, new immigration regulations, and major challenges in national security framework and leadership. Larry Wiley highlights those decisions and its would-be impact in 2026.
The new tax reform bills were signed into law with the aim of restructuring the nation's fiscal structure. This also informed the establishment of the Nigeria Revenue Service, NRS, and introduced a unified procedural framework for tax administration. Faced with the rising abductions, banditry, and insurgency, the government declared a nationwide security emergency. It announced the recruitment of 20,000 new police officers and authorized the deployment of forest guards to tackle armed groups hiding in remote areas.
I think when it comes to 2026 that we are talking about, the government should really be very, very intentional about it. There are a lot of things. The villages that have been sacked, government should think about, making sure that all these people are relocated back to. Then another thing, which is very important, the government should take over all the mining sites in Nigeria. Mining is a federal government thing.
Minister of Works David Umahi championed the adoption of reinforced concrete pavement as the standard for most new federal road projects, a departure from traditional asphalt roads. Federal government also adopted the use of PPP models to bridge the infrastructure deficit. Examples are Enugu to Onitsha road being partly funded by a telecommunication company under the government tax credit scheme, and the 7th Lekki Axial Road by an oil and gas refinery company. The minister also listed some major ongoing road constructions going forward into 2026.
Second legacy project, 1068, a dream of Shagari administration, 47 years ago. That dream has come to be, and the first section has been opened in Kebbi, 258 kilometers by 6 lanes.
These decisions will no doubt shape things to come in 2026. In Lagos, Lanre Bileyi, NTA News.
And those other reports from Lagos. Nationwide will continue in Abuja with Ogo Chukwuka. Ogo, it's over to you.
Thank you, Adiola. Bags of unwholesome roasted animal skin, popularly known as bomo, have been confiscated by the authorities in Niger State for violating safety protocols as part of efforts to safeguard consumers' health. Dauda Mohammed reports that the incident has brought to the fore issues of safe processing of animals for consumption.
Bomo cowhide is a popular delicacy widely consumed across the country as a cheap option to protein. With its popularity, bomo is in the news for the wrong reason, as it was discovered by the authorities in Minna, the Niger State capital, that this delicacy is being sold by some women at unauthorized spots in a suspicious manner and allegedly having foul smell.
Government should intervene about these pomo issues, because that pomo is a very dangerous thing in society.
Regarding the pomo issue, they will not stop selling pomo now. Because
officials from the Niger State Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries Development say the women arrested will be arraigned before a competent court of law for endangering the health of the public in the state.
We should not be alarmed. The Ministry of Livestock is there, the Department of Public Health is there. That was one spot out of so many others that might be genuine. We're on top of the situation and we're on the alert to check. If we see anything that may be injurious to people's health, we will not hesitate to act, and that is just what we did.
Though no consumer of the alleged adulterated pomo has called in sick, authorities advise that members of the public should only patronize official abattoirs and butchers. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
All right, Dauda in Minna there. So, Dauda, let's hear from you again, this time live. What other measures are the authorities in Minna putting in place to forestall a reoccurrence of this incident?
Yes, thank you very much. We are presently at one of several abattoirs littered around Minna. And what they've been trying to do to forestall a reoccurrence of the incident is, first of all, the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries Development, the ministry in charge of the consumption of meat around the state, has brought about new enforcement measures, especially at those outlets where people come in and out of Minna metropolis. They've done more on enforcement. They have more people manning the in entry and exit points of Minna to ensure that this kind of meat product is not brought in again. And apart from enforcement, they've started doing issue of sensitization. They've been going around sensitizing more and more people on the need to only patronize those official butcher points for their meat products, to ensure that at least whatever is being consumed is what was slaughtered here, and they all know the origin and the type of animal that has been slaughtered and used for the pomo. And apart from that, they've also tried to ensure that all those that are part of this issue are properly have been identified and arrested and taken to the authority, to the law enforcement agencies, to ensure that whoever is part of this issue should not go unpunished.
All right, thank you, Dauda. I thought you wanted to tell us what feedback is going to look like, because implementation of these laws sometimes is shaky. All right, thank you very much for your contribution. I believe those who have ears are hearing. Now, youths and women have been urged to take a more active role in the nation's political process. This call formed part of the resolutions on Good Morning Nigeria, where guests stressed the need for greater inclusion of young people and women in governance. Thomas Obetiri reports.
As Nigeria looks ahead to the 2027 general elections, guests on Good Morning Nigeria also stressed that expanding participation and holding leaders accountable are essential steps towards building a stronger and more responsive political system. They called on citizens to demand accountability from elected officials for both their actions and inactions. They noted that transparency, due process, and consistent citizen engagement remain key pillars of good governance as the country moves closer to another election cycle.
Any polity that is constituted to service individual private interest over and above the collective interests of the people, then such a political system is bound to be faced with serious challenges. As little as challenges that you feel can be fixed within 24 hours may drag on for ages. And that is what we are witnessing in Nigeria.
Women don't have the muscle to use the kind of finances that we see going around for elections. You know, people want to run election in 2027. They've already started spending money from like 2021. And they have already started positioning themselves. Women don't have that kind of financial capacity.
And we need to also provide special opportunities for the female youths to participate in government. We have had young men who have been speakers in state houses of assembly. We have not had young women, in that regard. So we need a lot of things to be done to support young people to participate in election.
In addition, politicians were advised to place the collective interests of Nigerians above personal or sectional gains. The guest described 2025 as a period of institutional tests and called on government at all levels to address pressing issues such as poverty, inequality, and unemployment. In Abuja, Thomas Obetiri, NTA News.
All right, let me hand the baton now to Dibabari in Port Harcourt as she tells us what's trending in that zone. Hello, Dibabari.
Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP, has officially received the blueprint for the operationalization of the 100-bed Ogoni Specialist Hospital. Ramin Sendratade reports that it provides a strategic roadmap for bringing world-class health care to a region long impacted by environmental challenges.
The Man Technical Planning Committee, led by Professor Christian Mato, submitted a comprehensive report detailing the legal framework, governance structure, and human resource requirements for the Ogoni Specialist Hospital. Professor Mato noted that the establishment of the facility is a crucial intervention aimed at bringing specialist healthcare services closer to Ogoni land and the surrounding states.
We presented the fact that that hospital needs to have what we refer to as the Ogoni Foundation to own the hospital and hold it in trust for the Ogoni people. However, we looked at the community-based health insurance scheme that would take care of the community of Ogoni people. And so you go ahead to map the community to make sure that you have the various households in Ogoni land have access to care at that hospital.
Receiving the report, the project coordinator of IPREP, Professor Nenibari Nizabi, expressed satisfaction with the progress of the project, which has now reached over 78% completion. It described the hospital as a strategic referral hub that will provide specialized services in oncology, cardiology, and pediatrics.
The stage of the project as of today is one of holistic implementation of all the recommendations of the report. Now, in the area of health, we have gone beyond UNEP recommendation because UNEP recommends that we should create public health inventory of people that live close to contaminated lands.
The Ogoni Specialist Hospital is part of a broader health intervention strategy by IPREP, which includes the construction of the Buan Cottage Hospital and the distribution of ambulances to other hospitals in the 4 Ogoni local government areas. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Adulterated, NTA News.
Nigeria's policy on drug abuse is shaped by laws with enforcement agencies and drug regulators saddled with the responsibilities of coordinating, managing, and punishing offenders, making significant progress. Stakeholders are therefore advocating strengthening of laws and border monitoring to check the influx of illicit drugs in the country. Ijeoma Ogweke, who spoke with some of them, expressed the dangers of drug abuse and its impact on Nigerians.
Drug abuse is a serious issue that affects individuals, families, and communities. The use of illicit substances such as cocaine, cannabis, tramadol, among others, which are commonly abused, can have devastating effects ranging from physical, mental, and socio-economic issues. Promise Anele, a pharmacist and a counselor at the Rivers State University, speaks on mental health risks associated with drug abuse.
We must get it right. We get to the foundation of the problem. Part of it is that we have a chaotic drug distribution chain in Nigeria, where all manners of people, trained and untrained, handle products. And people are now seeing drug as a business item, which it ought not to be.
Other stakeholders who are worried over the increase in drugs consumption, particularly among youths and women, and its implications on family life, harp on advocacy in schools and strengthening of laws against drug abuse.
I believe that if we can do more advocacy, if we can strengthen our laws, strengthen all our regulatory agencies, it will go a long way to curb drug abuse.
Obedeke Kennedy is the Deputy State Commander, Operations and Training, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Rivers State Command.
We went out to the town to arrest a notorious drug dealer. And at the end of the day, his boys came out to attack us. But we were able to subdue them. He's in custody and the drugs are out of the society. So on daily basis, we go out for arrest, and the attack on us does not deter us from doing our job because it's our core mandate. We are attacking the war head on without looking back.
As the ongoing reforms to drastically change the narrative is on, it is the hope of Nigerians that strict penalties will indeed serve as a deterrent to offenders. In Port Harcourt, Ijeoma Ogweke, NTA News.
And that does it from Port Harcourt. The news will continue in Abuja right after the break.
Thank you for staying tuned. As year 2025 gradually winds down, Nigerians are already looking forward to the socio-political and economic developments that will unfold in the new year. Jude Abugu reports that in Benin City, residents are looking forward to improved security and reduction in prices of goods and services in 2026.
Comes with loads of expectations as governments, organizations, and individuals set their goals as they strategize to achieve better results in the new year. In 2026, Nigerians expect heightened political activities, a stable economy, and a more secured Nigeria.
As far as government policies and democracy is concerned, 2026 is the deciding year. Campaign will start, political alignment, realignment will continue.
They're expecting good governance, especially the way things are going now. They need peace in the country, which the president has guaranteed Nigeria that peace will be restored.
For prices in the market to go down, and also for us to be for me to be able to afford the prices of things in the market as well.
Many Nigerians also believe that the year 2026 will have a lot in stock to meet their personal expectations.
There will be a more improved security for the people, and of course, personal development and orientation.
For me, 2026, I'm just trusting God that it's going to be a nice year for everyone, and most especially for Nigeria.
In less than 72 hours, Nigerians will join the rest of the world to welcome a new year with hope and optimism that there are better things ahead. In Benin, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
Thank you, Jude. And from Benin, let's cross over to Makurdi, and Fatima Hassan is there. Hello, Fatima. What do you have?
Life jackets worth 70 billion naira have been donated by the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy to the Benue State government as part of efforts to ensure safer and efficient inland water transportation. Deputy Director of Inland Waterways, Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, Francis Abba, who handed over the consignment to the state government, said the gesture is part of the National Inland Waterways Safety Campaign. Elias Etiaf has details.
Benue State has over time recorded ugly incidents of boat mishaps, resulting in the loss of several lives due to non-use of protective jackets. The donation of life jackets by the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy is to ensure safer water transportation and prevent these avoidable deaths in times of boat mishaps. Deputy Director, Inland Waterways, Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, Oga Francis Abba said the national campaign has already made similar donations in 10 states of the Federation, stressing that the life jackets symbolize commitment of the federal government to human life.
Our Inland Waterway Safety Program is structured around 3 key pillars: enforcement of the Inland Waterway Transportation Regulation 2023, public awareness and grassroots sensitization, as well as distribution of life-saving equipment.
Deputy Governor of the state, Dr. Sam Ode, who received the delegation on behalf of his principal, described the occasion as a strategic outcome between the state and the federal government.
For us, it is a source of worry, and we think seriously that we need to embark on very, very serious sensitization to underscore the importance of people wearing these safety jackets. We do not take this gift for granted.
Commissioner for Maritime and Blue Economy, Benue State, commended the federal government for its numerous interventions in making life better for its citizens. In Makurdi, Elias Etiaf, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Makurdi. Nationwide continues in Enugu after this timeout. Please stay tuned.
All right, before we go to Enugu, let's take this report from Abuja, where the federal government, International Fund for Agricultural Development, and the Food and Agriculture Organization have worked hard to make Nigeria's aquaculture one of the best in the world. This initiative has created many jobs opportunities for young people in the country. In this report, Musa Baba Aliyu looks at the progress and impact of these efforts in the southern parts of Nigeria.
Fish farming, known as aquaculture, is a profitable business in Nigeria, but young people often struggle to get a steady supply of baby fish, fry and fingerlings to start or grow their own farms. Many farmers still buy these young fish from open markets like this, which can be unreliable. According to Abdulkadir Isa, who chairs the fingerlings producers and marketers group at Kado International Fish Market in Abuja, the biggest challenge in producing fingerlings and juveniles is feeding.
Because most of those fingerlings and fryers, they cannot eat our local feed. They eat foreign feed. Our local production have not get the result of the crumbles.
To help solve this, the federal government has stepped in with social support programs, especially in the Niger Delta region. This initiative provides equipment, training and resources to young people interested in fish production.
Color of the water, but when we tested it, the pH water.
One success story is Juliet Amakoromo, a beneficiary of the Life ND project in Bayelsa State. The program, supported by the federal government and the International Fund for Agricultural Development IFAD, has empowered her to produce her own fingerlings and even train other youths.
After the training, I was empowered with 1,500 fingerlings and 50 bags of feed from 2 mm to, I think, 6 mm.
Dozens of young people across the United States involved in the FGE Fight Life ND program are receiving training in fish farming. Beside aquaculture, many others are being supported in poultry farming. The young beneficiaries are very grateful to President Bola Tinubu for these opportunities. They say the programs have given them skills, jobs and hope, and have helped reduce unrest and idleness in their communities. The government efforts are helping turn Nigeria's rural youth into successful farmers and business owners, creating better livelihood and stronger communities in key agricultural areas. From Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The federal government has dismissed as false reports suggesting plans to target opposition figures for arrest for prosecution. In a statement by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, the federal government describes as fabricated a document circulating online which alleges the existence of a multi-agency task force designed to unlawfully detain opposition politicians. The government clarifies that no such program exists, reaffirming that the administration of President Bola Tinubu remains committed to the rule of law, due process, and the constitutional rights of all Nigerians. It stresses that law enforcement and anti-corruption agencies operate independently and in line with established legal frameworks, while political association and participation remain protected under the Constitution. The federal government also cautions against the spread of misinformation, particularly as the country moves closer to the 2027 general elections, urging the public to rely on credible information. All right, let me hand over to Comfort in Enugu now as she brings us more reports.
Welcome back on Nationwide, and thanks for joining us in Enugu. A total of 2,400 youth drawn from the 13 local government areas in Ogoni state have benefited from palliatives distributed through President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. Chinaza John reports that the gesture is to ensure that no one is left behind this festive season.
The distribution of the palliatives, according to the National Coordinator of the Southeast Renewed Hope Agenda, Chief Bello Sochukwu Enwere, is in keeping with the President's commitment in giving the citizens a new lease of life anchored on people-centered governance, inclusiveness, and love for all Nigerians. He called on the Southeast Zone to support the President for the numerous appointments and for improving the infrastructure and industrial base of the zone with the reconstruction of a railway in the area.
The President is a President that loves people. We love to see everybody to be happy. We want to see Nigerians flourish. We want to see the sources of both economic, social, and welfare aspect of every aspect.
For the stakeholders and beneficiaries, the distribution is an act of love that demonstrates the value the President places on the welfare of the people, as showcased through his policies that have changed the economy and impacted various sectors.
1, I've talked about the commission. 2, those of us who are in university or have brothers and sisters in university know about the student loan scheme. No government has done that before.
And this is the first time, at least our federal roads, this is the first time the federal government is remembering the Southeast in road infrastructure.
We have done so much for Nigerians. You can see that even at this very season, this Yuletide season, there is no fuel scarcity.
Distribution, which has become an annual gesture, had 2,400 youths benefiting from the 13 council areas of Ebonyi State. In Abakaliki, Chinaza John, NTA News.
Residents in Anambra State and security experts say there has been significant improvement in security and freedom of movement in recent times across the state.
Experienced periods of heightened insecurity to the extent that citizens, out of fear of attack and molestation, hardly come home for social events including Christmas and New Year celebrations. Most traditional weddings meant to be held in villages were moved to cities. To check this ugly situation, relevant authorities, including government at all levels and security agencies, came up with various security strategies, including the unveiling of Anambra State Homeland Security Law 2025, and later launch of the Operation Udogashi, a joint security outfit.
For sure, I've been in Anambra for more than 5 years, and the situation then was too critical. Well, for now, the police joint security team, they are also working.
It has improved greatly, even though there are still skirmishes of insecurity, incidents of insecurity here and there.
At every phase, we are able to take care of it, but we experience what I personally call conspiracy of silence, where people are not willing to share information.
As part of strategies to check insecurity, the Inspector General of Police recently announced readiness to resume nationwide enforcement of use of tinted glass permits.
If everybody is coming and you could see through who is inside here and all of that, it helps. At least you won't catch some people unawares.
Anambra State Police Command have keyed into the force headquarters, the directive of the Inspector General of Police in enforcing these tinted permits.
However, as the year draws to an end, the police has reaffirmed commitment to a safer and more secured Anambra State in the coming year. In Awka, Chinyere Fesi Okoye, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Enugu Network Center. Let's now return to Ogochukwu in Abuja for more stories on Nationwide.
Thank you so much, Comfort. And fortunately, that's where we call it a day on Nationwide today. Many thanks for watching. Stay patriotic.